So this is the start of the section that's past the Smoky Mountains. And the next town's Hot Springs. Well, it's 11 o'clock Eastern time. The weather is really nice. The temperature is about 65. And so I'm back on the trail. And this trail is good. Minimal roots, minimal wear and tear. I was worried there for a minute till I saw this sign across the bridge to the AT trail, because I can get lost in a second. So I think this is the bridge. Just saw a big truck full of, a big bus full of rafts. There's a lot of rafting that goes on in this river. I-40's up on the hill. You can see the trucks going by. You can see the blazes on the bridge. These creeks here are different than South Alabama creeks. I don't know what you would run I guess a kayak would go in that. Looks pretty low. Sounds like roadkill ahead, but I think you go under the interstate. This is one of the very few Appalachian Trail road walks. I'm sorry, Dr. Nimblewheel Nomad, but I don't like road walks. So here we go, back into the woods and up a very interesting stairway. This is an old one. So we just passed the road to Standing Bear Hostel, and we're going uphill now for a long way. I think the shelter I'm aiming to get to is a little over 6 miles. I'm sorry, a little over 7 miles. It's 2 o'clock on day one. A little after 2, I just ate some extended snack. So I plan on a 10-mile day today since I started at 11 o'clock. And tomorrow we'll go about 15. According to the map, the trail here seems to be following Tennessee and North Carolina line, almost right down the line. So on the left of the video is Tennessee, and on the right is North Carolina. So you can just take a step either way pretty much and change states. Wow, it's a steep climb even at the top. There's plenty of blackberries growing in this bog. In about a month, this will be a trail magic, a nature trail magic. And it's all downhill from here to the shelter. So the shelter's down that way, but it had a terrible floor. So I came up here and pitched my tent in a great tenting area between the privy and the shelter, but we'll have to go find some water still. Well, Ed's gone, and I'm leaving. This is a good campsite, but the shelter leaves a lot to be desired. I'm going to try to make 10 miles by lunch, if possible, and then I'll have the rest of the day to relax. But it's a beautiful morning on the trail. We're heading into the east a little bit. The sun's in your eyes, and then within your north and in your east as we go down the border of North Carolina and Tennessee. Because it's early May, I would think the trail would be just full of people. You'd be passing people and they'd be passing you, and you'd see them sitting beside the trail, but honestly, it doesn't look like there's more people on the trail than there were in the fall. Here we are at Brown's Gap and Brown's Gap Road. And of course, out of Brown's Gap is a steep climb. Can't keep up with the young folk. $4,600 tiring feet. So there's water right down that hill, and that's where my hiking buddy that I just met, baseball, went to get some water. He's way too young for me to hike with him long. He was very kind to slow down enough that I could hike with him up the mountain. I guess this is the fence that Max used to pen his cows in the patch, because that was definitely, they used that bald for grazing. It was one of the best I've seen with grass. In fact, here's part of it right here still coming down the mountain. Here's a large domestic animal excluder. Probably people on horseback who'd probably use the trail even though they're not supposed to. But it'd be pretty difficult to get one through this. But for a person, it's no trouble. This is the Roaring Fork shelter at noon. Nobody here, which is amazing in the fall, spring. I mean, I would expect people to be here even in the spring, but they're not at noon. Extra long picnic table made by an Eagle Scout for a project. Mouse excluders. It's got everything. The roots are here. And typical North Carolina, it seems like. The trail is just about worn completely out with all the hundreds and hundreds of feet on it. And it erodes down to the roots. And then you walk in the roots. Well, this is Lemon Gap. Yeah, so this is the Lemon Gap parking lot. Hot Springs is 14 miles. Walnut Mountain and Bald. One more horrible climb before you camp, as usual. Coming down to Kale Gap, the end of day 2, when camping Kale Gap with baseball, who is ahead of me because he's about 30 and ex-military, and he's been very nice to stay close. I think this is Bluff Mountain that we're climbing. Like I say, this is the only mountain climb we got before downhill to Hot Springs. This is a pretty good little climb, 400 or 500 feet. I'm glad we did it in the morning. My legs are sore from 2 days on the trail. The trail's really pretty when you can see it stretched out. It's not eroded. Water or no water, people love to camp in these high places. It's almost like the Canaanites in the Bible. High places are special to some people. I guess this is the top of Bluff Mountain. Climbs aren't as bad in the morning. By the afternoon, they're tough. Look at the edge of the trail, how it's churned up by the thousands of stick freaks that come in every day. Look at the edge of the trail and you can see how the hundreds of sticks have just chewed it up. This is really different looking and special. These woods with the light are really pretty. Early this morning, it's only 8:30. This is my 3rd mile. I'm trying to follow Nimble Wheel Nomad's advice. Try to do 10 by 12. This plowed up ground looks like hogs, but I think it's actually hikers this time. Can't miss Big Rock Spring. The blue blaze indicates that it's water. This is a millipede, and you see them dead all along the trail. I don't know if somebody's purposely stomping them or they are just so many that they get stepped on. But you sure do hope nobody would kill one on purpose. They're a plant eater or a dead material eater, a detritus feeder, and they hurt nobody. So I've made about 10 miles today before noon. So here's Eva Gregg, and somebody worked really hard to fix her headstone. Absent, not dead, 1882. And over here is her husband, who lived much longer than she did. Departed but not forgotten, George Gregg. You can start seeing the town of Hot Springs about a mile away. See the little town now pretty clearly. Hot Springs makes its living mostly from this trail. Anyway, this is Hot Springs. And this is the Laughing Heart Lodge Hostel that we're coming out at. I wonder how long this footpath's been here. Start the fourth day, the little town's asleep, pretty much. Saw one hiker heading out. It's about 7 o'clock. And I'm getting pretty good at this getting up early business.